This content is made for adult collectors. If you're under the age of 18, get the heck out of here. Hello guys, I'm S3D, and first off, before I start the review, I just want to warn you guys that this video is intended for adult collectors. For adult collectors, meaning anyone over the age of 18, due to the sexual nature, the mature subject matter of this figure, and based on the brand ARH Comix. It's a line of comic book that are intended for adults. So anyway, this is the TBLeague 1/6 scale ARH Comix executive replicas. Tariah, the Silver Valkyrie. Basically, she is a comic book character from the ARH Comix universe, and basically, this is a recolor of the previous release, Skara. Which is also like, I think she's like the golden Valkyrie and Tariah is the silver Valkyrie. It's essentially a recolor with a different head sculpt. So yeah, Skara and Tariah has different head sculpts. And I think the base is actually different too for Tariah. Tariah has a different base and a different shield. But everything else is essentially the recolor of Skara. So I have actually reviewed Skara in my other channel that got terminated in 2018. So that kind of sucks. I actually sold that figure immediately after I reviewed the figure. And I'm probably going to do the same with this figure. Okay, and I'll get into the whole detail during the review. So anyway, right here we have the box right here. Yeah, just your typical TBLeague packaging right here. It's pretty high quality. It's a lot more high quality than like brands like Hot Toys and stuff like that. TBLeague does a really good job with their packaging. It's even magnetized, so that's really high quality. And here we have the back of the profile if you want to read about Tariah. Yeah, so basically you can see right here she's Skara's sister and blah 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 blah. Warning, this figure is intended for adult collectors, not recommended for anyone under the age of 15, and definitely not for children under the age of 3. And it's officially licensed by ARH Comix 2019. Here we have the UPC code, and yeah. Anyway, even though they intend these for anyone over the age of 15, I would say these are more 18 plus. Definitely for adults over the age of 18 due to sexual content with these figures. But anyway, first off, I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, it's the same body that they use on almost all their figures, so it's nothing unexpected at all. The articulations are pretty much the same, so I'm not going to waste your time with the articulation and stuff like that. We're just going to go through the armor, because, well, the armor is actually pretty nice, and the accessories. So, first off, we're going to go over, like, the boring stuff. We all have these hands. I don't know. I think these hands are also very common. I think I've seen these before. Obviously, it's the same one from Skara, but I think Purgatory might also have like the same hand sculpts. The paintwork is honestly not too great, as you can see. Yeah, the paint looks kind of sloppy. I think it's intentional. I think this is what they wanted to go with, like a weather look for these gloves. So I think it's okay. Yeah, it's heavily weather, so obviously maybe some of the gold has rubbed off, but it's kind of inconsistent because you have these gloves that look super weather, but the armor itself looks super clean. So I don't know, it's a little weird. But the spear is actually somewhat weather, so you can see that right there. This is actually one of their nicer spears. And yes, obviously, you can still see mold lines and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see obviously mold lines stuff like that. But this one is overall pretty decently done. You know, like you can still see the mold line, but you know, if you're like displaying it, you know, at least like 3 or 4 feet away, you can't really see it. So for the most part, it's pretty good. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll take back the, you know, how the armor looks pristine. If you look closely, you can see a lot of weathering on the weapon. So you can see on the tip of the spear, there's quite a bit of weathering. So that looks really nice. Alright, but the other stuff looks pretty pristine. Like the blade itself looks super clean. Let's see, the hilt, yeah, there is a little bit of weathering. So maybe they were going for like, you know, a more combat hardened look. Yeah, so this is all very nicely done. The blade this time is made of plastic, so you know you don't have that, you know, metal nonsense. A lot of time when they do the swords or blades in, you know, die cast or stuff like that, they usually come like bent. I don't know why. I seen it on Hot Toys, I seen it on TBLeague. It's very disappointing, but yeah, at least with this one, it's pretty nice. She does not have a sheath for the sword, so you're just gonna have to, like, you know, display it. You have the option of either using the spear or the sword, and then she have the shield. The shield actually looks really nice. This is actually a major selling point here. I think this is probably one of their more nicely done shield. You can see the detailing and stuff like that. Yeah, there is a bit of weathering, so yeah, I guess they were going for like a slight dirtier look. All right, and then we have the mask, I guess. This thing just, you know, holds on to the head like that, clips on. It's very nicely done. Just well, I mean, if you've seen the review on Scar, this is pretty much just a recolor. This time in silver. I think they might have changed some of the details, you know, a little bit to you know, make some variation, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Okay, well, obviously the base itself is different, so there we go. Let's take a look at the base. This base is also very nicely done. Honestly, I don't know why they include like base like this without, like, you know, like the cradle, something like that. I don't think it's magnetized. It's pretty heavy. I mean, it's cool, but I don't think a lot of people actually display their TBLeague figures with these bases, from what I've seen on the internet. I obviously don't use these bases at all because I don't like the figure falling off. So I just put them on those, you know, those. I use like those Hot Toys style or 6-scale style crotch grabber stands and stuff like that to make sure, like, you know, they don't fall off and stuff like that. But yeah, this is very nicely done, very nicely weathered. Okay, so there we go. We have that, and let's go ahead and take a look at Tariah. So one thing I kind of not. I'm actually getting quite tired of. It's like the way TBLeague use these, you know, softer plastic on their armor parts. I mean, it looks good. You know, the detail is very nicely done. But yeah, I wish, you know, some of the stuff that I wish they would go with like some harder plastic, especially for some of the parts. You know, yeah. I think Hot Toy does it too. A lot of 6-scale brands are starting to use softer plastic. It's fine. I mean, as long as all the details, you know, the paintwork is nicely done. No real complaints. It's just a personal thing. Yeah, the feet is actually very nice. You got soles on the bottom. Although I don't think Valkyries, you know, in Norse mythology wear these type of shoes with these kind of soles, but whatever. You can see a lot of weathering on the feet. That's very nicely done. This shin armor, shin guard thing looks exceptionally well done. And again, we have these you know, soft material right here that kind of simulate fur or faux fur and stuff like that. Knee armor is also very nicely done. Again, weathering. You can see it. You have to get really close in order to see, like, you know, some of the weathering. Yeah, you can see some weathering on the loincloth area. stuff like that. Yeah, you do have to mess around with these first a little bit in order to make it look realistic. Otherwise, it's just gonna look like, you know, a little weird. So let's go ahead and try to mess around with that a little bit. I think her loincloth is riding a little high. Basically, this is just a piece I go over the, yeah. I don't want to, even though this is Vimeo, I don't think I want to, you know, I think there's actually a mature content on Vimeo. I think they allow it, but, you know, I'm not going to, like, push the envelope. But there we go. That's the crotch piece. Of course, you can heat it up if you want, you know, a better fit. I think this is decent. Okay, and then here we have the back of the armor, the breast armor. In order to remove these armor pieces, basically what you have to do is you have to heat up the plastic and then get them really soft, and then you just pull it down if that's what you want to do. That's my suggestion. A lot of people end up like cutting the armor parts, which is not a good idea. This is just one piece that just go onto the body. So there you go. Now, once you get it hot enough, it will just, you know, become very pliable. So this is also very nicely done. You know, believe it or not, there's not a lot of weathering on the breastplate or the whatever you call this thing. I don't know. Even though she's like a Valkyrie, you know, she's supposed to be like, you know, like a goddess kind of thing or whatever, with superpowers and stuff like that. I think armor like this is very impractical for actual combat. I think this is just there to, like, you know, arouse men. Maybe that's their distractions. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we have the shoulder armor right here. Maybe that's the plan, to you know, distract their opponents, assuming they're attracted to women, of course. So the shoulder armor is very nicely done. We got these fur underneath, and the gauntlet is also very nicely done. I mean, basically they're duplicates. In order to put on the armband and the shoulder pauldron, you have to remove everything. You have to pop off the hand, remove this part, and then put it back on, stuff like that. And she have this necklace, which I think it looks really cheap. There's no weathering whatsoever, and it doesn't stay on very well. So I don't know. That's probably like the worst accessories that she has. But this piece that goes around her shoulder, this is actually very nicely done. This strap right here, that's fantastic. And she's got a pretty decent head sculpt. Yeah, I think I've seen this head sculpt before. I think it's the cowgirl, the TBLeague cowgirl figure, because I seen one in person. I think they just reused the face. Yeah, it's TBLeague gets kind of lazy sometimes. I mean, pretty much all the female figures, that's my biggest gripe, is that they use like the same muscular body with like 90% of the female figures. I wish they would, you know, they have 7 different body types, and I think it's maybe time they start, like, you know, using other body types for their figures. I know a lot of these figures are released in limited quantities. So, yeah, I guess maybe it really doesn't matter because, you know, once they're sold out, they're sold out. But anyway, let's go ahead and put on this mask piece. I think she looks a lot better with this thing attached. So there we go. Once this thing is on here, she looks pretty nice. Alright, and I still don't like the neck piece. If you want to see the articulation, I have other reviews from TBLeague figures. You can see, I mean, it's pretty much the same body. I think this is the S23B body, the suntan. This is actually not pale. I think, yeah, this is suntan, and yeah, suntan muscular, large bust. I think it's 23 or 21, something like that. Yeah, so anyway, it really doesn't matter. I mean, they pretty much use the same body anyway. So there we go. That's the review for the TBLeague Tariah, the silver Valkyrie 1/6 scale action figure. There you go. I do like her braided hair, but you know, I'm really not a big fan of these doll hair kind of things. So really no point, honestly, no point talking about it. I wish everything come with sculpted hair, and I wish this neck piece, you know, the necklace is a little bit better. Yeah, retail price for this figure is around $200. I think is a decent value for around $200. You know, if you can get it for $150, definitely go that route. Other than that, yeah, it's a basic recolor with a different head. And I think if you want to have this head, you can like probably just buy one on eBay. And if you already have the Scara figure, then you can just maybe do a head swap. Unless you like the silver color for you know, the silver armor. Alright, so that is pretty much it for Tariah. Stay tuned for more reviews, I guess. I'm gonna significantly slow down on a lot of these high-end collectibles figures. In fact, I'm just slowing down in general on all the reviews. So, you know, you'll maybe see something in the next 6 months or something like that. So don't be surprised that there's gonna be long periods of absence. Alright, so anyway, that's pretty much it for this figure. This figure will be available for sale in January 2020. So if you guys are interested, just follow me on my eBay store. I'm only reviewing these and then selling them because, you know, like I said, the body itself gets really old. I'm thinking if I'm going to keep this figure, I'm probably going to have to swap the body because I prefer something less muscular. All right, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.